Oh,
Yo,
wait, wait, how are ya? What up?
what is happening, dude?
You're busting my reality right now. I can't even tell anymore these days. Are you at home? Are you in front of yours? Are you outside? Are you in Armageddon? What is going on?
Am I in Armageddon? That's a good one. I'm at home base tonight. So, yeah, but the green screen looks very similar as it is that same shot. What's up with you, man? How you been?
Been good, dude. Been doing good. Been doing good. As the banner says down below, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're gonna slowly chisel it out. We're slowly getting there. We're starting on time. We still have to talk about the fact we're starting on time. Banner flowing. Hey, you want to say hi to all the homies who are jumping into the chat there?
Indeed, Brilliant Demon, DT O'Keefe, what up, dude? Zimitco, Abaddon, and Brilliant Demon hanging out, watching the show together. I'm sure. Headcase Toys, what's up? Super Terrible Hobo Toys, Jazz Wiz. Follow Jazz Wizard 2.0 right now, please. Acid 9 Toys, Recycle Galaxy Bliss, what's up, dude? Stormico in the house, FKD, Scott Suki, what's happening? Um, yeah, dude. Busy time, man.
It's also funny story. You mentioned for anybody who's not following jazz, of course I'm a little weirdo. I ended up actually having the jazz profile loaded up as a tabby-do here. So if anybody hasn't seen it, the Jazz Wizard 2.0. Now I would actually be careful as well because it seems like part of what ended up getting them in trouble with the IG police was following too many accounts too quickly. So I don't know how the fuck that shit works out. So at the same time, as much as all the homies are kind of like, yeah, Jazz, I'm gonna come follow you, we got to kind of do so safely too, so we don't get our homie just completely removed off IG again as well. But yes, they are back on IG. I don't know about you, homie. My brain always goes to the worst. So of course, when I first saw all of a sudden all the chats or whatever I might have with Jazz, suddenly go Instagram user, my first reaction was like, the fuck did I do to piss off Jazz? Like, what the hell? But then my second reaction was, of course, like, well, I hope homie is okay. Like, and then you're sitting there kind of feeling like an idiot where you're kind of like, well, I don't have their number. How do we check if they're good? So it's kind of nice to see them appear again, man.
Well, yeah, dude. We were in there was a chat, just like you said, dude. I jumped on the chat and it said that that user was no longer there. I was like, what the hell? That's weird. Um,
Right.
but then we do have each other's numbers, and he texted me and told me what was going on, and I was like, oh shit. So and it was a bummer, dude, because he had just claimed a piece from Pamro right before I went down. So there was some business that still had to be handled a little bit, but it was. Yeah, dude, I don't get it, man. It's stupid. It's dumb. There's a lot of work in that account, and I think that's pretty much like that same story for everybody who loses their account at some point. Toy Chef, what's up, man? Toy Chef, dude, that dude's posts are just freaking.
Gorgeous. And their collection, fucking
That's what I'm saying. Very, very cool.
dude. When oh goodness me, it's almost like a shame we don't see too much from Anonymous Rat anymore. They've been pretty quiet for a bit. I don't know what's up there. Not gonna get too, but anyways, at one point they did like a rarities and a one-off drop sale, and Toy Chef came in like a fucking hero. Snooped like so many good grabs from that man because they were dropping things like OG Peachman prototype of this. Like it's like damn dog, like homie,
Yeah.
just yeah, their collection is just fucking gorgeous, man. Well curated.
Lynn, what's up,
That's
dude?
what we gotta almost start saying it, right? Like some of these individuals, not like they've got like a rad collection. It's a well curated collection because it's really thought out. It's
Yeah,
plotted. There's a
yeah.
lot in it. Yeah,
Carefully curated.
that's yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, lots of good stuff in there for sure, man. Lynn's the rap boy. What is up, dude? Bliss says he can't find him. Yeah, Jazz Wizard 2.0 is going to be the site that you're looking for there. Bootleg Toyco, what is up, man? Bootleg Toyco, dude. Let's take a look at this real quick. Bootleg Toyco had the question of the week this week, and that was something that we grabbed from last week. So, something that they're going to get. We're going to do a little prize out of the prize box, but there's these sticker packs um, that we ended up getting that are kind of cool. They come with these. It's just kind of some greatest hits from Toys Live. That one. Uh, Boom. Support worldwide underground toys. Look at this one, dude. Bam. The OG comes with that one. How about that? Toyzday. Bam. Bam. And that dude. All right. So that's a sticker pack that comes with those. We'll grab something else, but as these questions go out that you guys provided last week, put together a little sum for your efforts. But thanks again, because it makes that question of the week way easy, man.
There it is. Yo, homie, I don't know if I think you rotate out your shelf toppers. You've got a killer piece. Obviously, all of them are fucking sick as hell, including that Zymetco one on your right. But what is that one directly above your head? It looks like an LM9 overpour.
This is actually a Trash Joy piece.
Oh, it's fucking gorgeous, man.
Yeah, dude, that one is super fancy. These came out a while ago, not in the most recent drop, maybe 2 or 3 drops ago, something like that. But yeah, it's definitely got that that overpour Trash Joy look. But it's a beauty, dude. I love this one.
Yeah, that's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, good one.
Funny, eh? And I'm sure we've even actually talked about this on the show a couple times. It's kind of comical how so many of us got into this because of action figures, but then those like tchotchke type pieces end up like jumping out every now and then. And you're like, boom, because it's like, let's be like, that is very evidently not a toy. You know what I mean? Like when every now and then we're kind of trying to like divide that line. It's kind of like that's not. Anyway, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree, dude. That one has got that distinct look. The funny thing is, the LM9, I do have that that bust that he did and put them together. Dude, it looks like you're in a library or something. You know,
that bust. I didn't realize it, and I think it's like almost extra special to this one. So like, sorry if I hurt anybody's feelings. When I ended up going to that eyesore show they were doing, and actually they've got a show this weekend. I'm gonna pull up a poster for that later tonight too. But when Jazz did that eyesore show, or LM9, they had a couple of those Mozart busts there. And at first I thought they were for sale on the table. They ended up hitting me up afterwards, let me know, like, no, I had those actually with me to send off with one fake name and I believe Rakomashu. And what I just find extra neat about that is it's, again, one of those things where it's kind of like, yeah, that's not like one of those everybody gets kind of thing. You know, not to be like a fucking like loser about it, but it's one of those like, yeah, you got to be in the friend club for one of those. You know? Not to be a total dick about it. It's just cute.
Yeah, they're cool though, man. They're they definitely have like a distinct kind of like classy type look to them. And I think you know, the LM9, I think he was doing his in kind of like that overpour look too, which is why I like that last one that I got from him, dude. That's just such a cool ass look, man. Bootleg Toyco having a giveaway to send you next week. Thank you, sir.
Look at that.
Very, very cool. Domo arigato. That is Shotgun Karaoke, who was waiting patiently in the waiting room.
I almost forgot all about their All Out Domo account. They've got the All Out Domo account, and we'll have to bug them about this, but I couldn't remember the name of the. They were doing like was it them doing like the retro guitar fittings at one point? Am I thinking of someone else?
Say that again.
Now that I've said it out loud, I feel like it was actually a different artist that was doing the guitar paint ups.
Oh, the guitar paint ups, dude. Yeah, I don't know who did that.
Was that Dumont? Oh, fuck. There's too many of you. No, I'm just teasing. And Brilliant Demon, I get fucked up all the time about the fact that you're also Micah. I appreciate that in IG you've got that dash. I do. Is it Brilliant? Did I get that right?
What was that? I'm sorry, I was messing with my volume. Dude. It's kind of echoing on my end for some reason.
Oh, fair. Which one's Micah? Who's Micah?
That a Brilliant Demon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
Von
This tiny
Fake
little
Names, what's
smooth
up?
brain, dude. Just fucking. Well, fake names apparently gonna be in my neck of the woods. I know I scared them off last time they came to visit. I must have had like a fucking stick wedged so far up my ass. They were like, "I'm not staying at Crumbs' place ever again, man." That dude, that dude hotboxed me first thing I woke up, and he wouldn't stop talking about wanting to fight people, and all he does is drink coffee without eating. He's a miserable SOB. So Von Fake Name said, "No, I'm not telling the old crummy bee I'm coming down to TO this weekend, but I know because I stalk you fucks."
Oh man. Let's see what else is going on, man. Was there a show? No, I would feel like I was gonna say there was a show recently, but that was probably a couple weeks back.
There are so many shows, and we actually, again, tabby-do town is pretty like hooked up this weekend. We've got like the Zakir's custom YouTube channel that we're going to be plugging a little bit later on. There's the Silent but Deadly that's going to be Pikmin's Finals, us, and Yo-Yo and Toy Division. You'll get Scott Deming. That's happening in September. And then there's actually also, before we get too ahead of ourselves, the Assembly Required one. That's going to be happening in August as well. And so for that one, I believe there's going to be a Cave and Cage show, and then we're going to be doing some coverage of it as well. And we're going to try and make it like a 3-day, 4-day kind of like nonstop online rock for you.
Yeah, that's going to be
shit
on that week for sure.
I must be sleeping. Damico letting us know 5 points this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. 5 points this weekend, dude. That's probably what I was thinking about. I saw multiple people post about that one. Yeah, it looks like a good one, man. I mean, it always looks good. You know, that's one I've never been to before, but I know that lots of people that we hang out with, right? They head over there. Is it New York?
That's the old 5 Points Fest.
Yeah.
Let's take a little gander. I'll make sure I get a tab up here for it tonight as well, because obviously I should have had that on my radar. How close is 5 Points for you?
For me, other New York, probably what 3,000 miles, something like that.
Okay, it's a driving distance. June 7th and 8th, Beacon, New York. There it is. Yeah. If anything, I saw a post the other day, and I did have to laugh because it was basically like somebody saying, like, I love when things in the U.S. are close or whatever, close enough to drive, and it has like all these distances going where it's like 19 hours, 11 hours, 10. I'm like, yep. I don't fucking get it, man. Like, same as those homies that end up driving down, even Von Fake Name. The fact that if that dude's driving to Toronto, that's easily like a 2 or 3 day trip. I don't know what the fuck that dude's up to. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's a long time, man. It's moved from Brooklyn to Beacon, smallish arty town. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I've actually got the
what's up, dog?
Why not? I mean, I've got it pulled up right now anyways. We'll just show this off here, the old flyer for it. 5 Points Fest. Designer toys, live paintings, tattoos, indie artists, craft beer, live music, artisan food trucks, oddities, kaiju, and safubi. Well, come for the chaos, stay for the community. I'd say that's a pretty good, accurate description of events. Same as, I won't lie, man. I know for a darn fact that, like, I'll have to switch into the alternate Crumbs persona in order to, like, push myself to get the fuck out the door for it. But it would be absolutely so silly for me not to attend this event that's happening this weekend. Check this shit out, man. And again, I don't want to go too long. I know we've got Shotgun Karaoke chilling in the waiting room there. Oh, and yeah, sorry, man. I keep on forgetting about your geezer eyes. There we go. 150 for you. So sorry, homie. But okay, so first off, LM9 apparently is responsible for making up this poster here. Friday 6th and Saturday 7th June, the Super Wonder Gallery presents. Now, it's apparently the $1 Million Toy Show at the Super Wonder Gallery. Artwork inspired by playthings. But the first floor is going to be paintings, illustrations, sculptures inspired by toys. But you come down to the basement, check this little fuckery about. Doc Horror, Dreazays, Glad Ghoul Toys, Gray Skull Toys, Lab Monkey Number 9, Mr. Von Fake Name, Toys and Tape Trash. And then you've got Rokomish, who actually mailed in some stuff, and Angry Beast ended up mailing in some stuff, so it's going to be at the table as well. But just the fact, it's like, I obviously can't miss the opportunity to go in here, showing these guys my goodies, and running away.
That's close to you, you said?
Oh, dude, okay, fucking 1162 Bloor, near. Oh my goodness, homie! Literally, probably a 25-minute walk.
There you
I would
go.
be stupid to not go say hi to the homies.
It would be stupid.
So, and if that ends up happening, obviously I'll try and whip out my phone and take videos of people. And
yeah, that would be fun. And that's tomorrow and Saturday.
That's tomorrow and Saturday, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, man. My daughter graduates high school tomorrow. How about that, man? Tomorrow night. The old nighttime graduation. I'm not sure why they pulled that one off, but yeah, last time around. One more time, huh?
Gotta be overwhelming, dude.
Huh?
Gotta be overwhelming.
It probably is, dude. It probably is. But
why'd you say probably is?
It probably is because I mean, it's
Of course it's going to be. Don't give me that shit. That's like being at work knowing you've got a Javaho box and somebody being like, "Oh, I bet it's a fucking banger," and you're like, "Probably." I don't know. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's my youngest kid. Youngest kid, and she's done with school now. Well, actually, no, that's not true. She's done with high school, but she's going away, man. August. She's out of here. So
damn.
But that'll be cool. Looking forward to that. The heat is back, dude. And here's some disturbing news. My mother effing AC is broken right now, dude. Got a dude coming tomorrow to take a look at it, but I flipped it on for the first time the other day and no worky. So not good. Not good.
I'll admit, homie, we've been having a heat wave right now, and I feel like such an idiot most days because, like, let's say I'm working downtown, right, and I'll fucking Dylan Clement, what up? I'll pop out for my break or something like that. Everybody is wearing like short shorts and like their sundresses and shit. What's Crumbs up to? 2 t-shirts, maybe even like a hoodie, and then most likely my rain jacket, both hoods up, maybe a pair of sunglasses if it's a little sunny out there, and you're walking around being like, oh fuck, dude, like you are level 10 tism right now to the nines. Like this is something for the fucking record book.
You're like you think people are looking at me? Yeah, dude. I think they
might. And that's what kind of makes it bad, right? Like you're downtown Toronto. You literally, even some chick the other day, like, so they're walking down, I'm hacking my dart, I throw up the old deuces, and also have that moment of like, oh my god, I was wondering why some fucking weird man was saying hi to me. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, no shit, I get that. Like down in this area, some dude's wearing a rain jacket with the hood up, middle of the summer, 40. You're probably assuming there's some cracked out fucking dude trying to get a dart from you or something. Like,
yeah, there's definitely something going on there.
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I probably would be able to rock a sundress. You know what? Actually, I feel like B's got the legs for a fucking sundress, man. I'm picturing a little like powder blue, little white frill on the bottom. I feel like you got the fucking thighs and calves for it.
Is that right? Well, that's interesting. I'm glad you think that. Pocket Salsa, she's not singing at graduation. The singing is over, at least for high school. But it'll be a fun time either way. Crumbs Obama. Yeah, there you go. Anyways, moving right along, dude. I think we may be ready for, unless you had something else to discuss.
No, the poor dude. It's like 4 a.m. It's 4:20 now. So we're in Finland. It's 4:20. What up? Anyways, sorry. I feel like it's probably time we can pull the old Shotgun Karaoke in, man. What do you say?
Yes, actually, she is going to Cal State Fullerton down in Orange County. That's where she's going. And to answer that question, so yes, majoring in theater. I'm ready, man.
Okay, let's pull. Poor son of a bitch. Shotgun Karaoke, what is up?
Hey.
Nice.
I love how you come in rocking the mat and the beard protruding.
Excuse my attire. I think I wanted to give respect to the tradition and wear a mask.
There you go, man. Bringing it back, dude. Bringing it back. See, we had to get all the way out to Finland before we brought it back. So Yes, keep that in mind. The
I was
max.
supposed to do this last time, but I didn't for some reason. But if it's all right,
There you
I've
go.
been sitting backstage for about half an hour now.
Right? You gotta be just itchy as all fuck on the forehead and shit.
Sweating back
Right,
there.
right. Well, 20 minutes, not 30, so
Yeah,
but who's
yeah.
counting?
Got the Toys Alive Vomiting Droid shirt on too, man. Rocking it. I like it. I like it.
Of course, I have. I was supposed to be, showing off things that I was given to me.
So,
That's correct. That's
before
correct.
we get too carried away, why don't you take a second? We know you. Introduce yourself to the homies in the chat there, man. Remind them of what you're up to and who you are.
Hello, everybody. I am Tom. Some people know me as Damo, or some people know me as Shotgun Karaoke. I hail all the way from Helsinki, Finland, and it's a summer day. Half of the weekend's already passed, and holiday season. I make toys, resin. That's it. It's 4 a.m. So you can try to step on me.
Yo, I think your collection has definitely
4 a.m.
Yeah, let's talk about toys.
Well, only because honestly, I think even since the last time we talked to you, your collection has gotten bigger, or you've changed where you display it, or something. Man, it looks
True.
freaking gorgeous.
True, it has gotten way bigger. I don't know if you can see, but that top shelf over there, that's all like commercial made toys. Mostly He-Man, some Toxic Crusader, TMNT, some Spawn figures even. But this cabinet right over here, besides the lower bottom, this is all independent made toys.
Dude, so many ETCs. Is that 3 of those big old chunky boys?
I have one shelf that is just dedicated for them. Let me just open that. I also have some chums over there, and that speed. What's the speed skull?
Yeah.
The resin blood one.
Also,
Yeah. I actually had the courtesy of meeting both Copper Inks and Extra Orchestral when they were visiting Helsinki, and what a trip. And
I bet
this critter just needs more recognition.
Oh yeah.
And these beasts, I mean, they are radioactive as hell.
Yeah, dude, straight up. Wow.
That was like 2 seconds on it, man.
Yeah, and you see how much light, it's in my room.
I think the only comparable I've seen are probably my bed sheets to that. Hot damn.
Yeah, and
you
it
guys
glow for hours. A regular light bulb does the trick even.
Holy fuck, man!
Damn, dude.
Shit's still glowing.
Yeah,
but yeah, I love all ETC. And I'm so happy that they are now doing some cooperation. Him and Copper Inks, and I can't wait to see the new Swampies that are coming.
Man, absolute gorgeous. Oh, jeez, fucking gross. Puckett was actually saying, because I got to catch this, man. They were saying he's got to get you, you need to have a job doing voice work for books on tape, like true crime or history and stuff. Super terrible toys or children books. And I'm not going to lie, yes, honestly, when we first even got on the chat, and I know that they're not the same places, obviously, but for some reason, my brain was like, oh shit, I'm going to be thinking Terminator all damn night. All fucking night. I'm just going to be, I know that they're obviously not the same accent, but honestly, dude, they're pretty fucking close. You say hasta la vista, and like, hey, you're on point.
Hasta la vista, baby.
There you go. There you go, man.
But I mean, I take that as a compliment for sure. And excuse my vocabulary just isn't the same as a native speaker, so. Just catch me tripping.
Perfect.
Dude, you're very articulate, I would say, man. Absolutely.
I am. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay. Dude, let's talk about your newest piece, the janitor that you got going on.
Yeah. So, first of all, that's a collaboration between me and my homie Vice Toy Customs 88, who actually happens to be in the chat room as we
Nice.
speak, heading to work. So, big shout out, Eddie, if you're listening to right now. So yeah, the thing actually happened. Just a second. Just noticed my door was open. I don't want to wake the wifey. So technically, it was his kit bash idea, and he sent me a photo of it, and I just got super excited, and just came forth and proposed the idea of making molds of that whole piece and making a series of it. And it turned out to be one of the biggest and the most difficult projects that I ever had to go through. I think I made maybe over 10 molds together. There's like 11 different parts that had to be molded, and I had to like redo the torso mold at least 2 times just because of like poor planning and just cutting it wrong. Yeah. And it ended up breaking after the last casting, so that's the reason there isn't more than 7 or 8.
Gotcha. Well, there you go, man. They came out super clean, dude. God, that's a beauty right there. So that's Vice Toy Customs 88. Is that the address on Instagram as well?
Yeah, that's his handle.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So we'll update the post too to include that. But that's very cool, man. Vice Toy Customs 88. And are they out there in Finland with you as well?
Yeah. He lives in Hyvinkää, which is about like 40 minutes or an hour from Helsinki, so not too far away. There was actually that variant that you just scrolled, that was done by him.
Oh, nice.
Yo, did you guys use like green resin for all these tops of the plungers?
Yeah.
Fuck
That was
yeah,
a little,
man.
like last minute idea, since I had some of that UV resin that is UV reactive.
Fucking gorgeous, man. Brilliant idea. Dude, you guys crushed this, man. That's a lot of fucking molds for it.
Like I said, 11 different parts. So you can imagine the pain of like, just redoing and
yeah.
The articulation was something that took us back. I don't know if you already opened the box and studied the piece itself. It kind of mimics the original cage for the legs.
Okay.
But made from different types of material, so it doesn't take too much of the wear and tear.
Right.
So instead of like also having the original articulation in the arms, I decided to go with the magnet, since it just worked a little bit better, and they now they stick together like really tight.
Yeah, the arms are great, man. And actually, I didn't even know the arms were magnetic at first. And then one of them came off. I was like, man, those are on there tight. But the leg setup too, man, that is when you start looking at it, it's really hard to see on camera, man. But it's God, dude, the best way I can explain it is like in the old school Motu figures, right? Where they have that band that comes down and holds the legs in.
Exactly.
It's like that, but there's no band or anything. It's just like the legs are held together. So the legs move together. But they're still joined at like the top of the thing, and they sit up in there. It's interesting, dude, because when you pose it and you move it, right, it gets in like this. Like for me, I think the perfect balance point of it is when he's kind of hunched forward a little bit, and he's got like, yes, exactly, just like that, dude. And I think that's like the best pose for him. But it's interesting, dude. I took it over to Hert's house, and I was like, I said, you know what, dude? I said, before I open this, I don't know if this is broken or if this is just the way it's supposed to be. So we opened it up and then looked at it and kind of messed with it. And I'm just like, nah, dude, that's just the way it is. And I've never seen that before.
Oh yeah, because it was loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to lock it back in. Yeah, it was crazy because like I said, this is based on the original kit bash by Vice, and what he I'm just calling him Eddie. What he did was he took the original Y peg that's from the legs, and we molded that, and we've been using those castings, just chopping them up and using those pegs as much as we can. But he did a huge deal just cutting up the original one and like carving out the insides as much as he could. I took over after that and just trying to make the original model so we could even dream about technically trying to cast it, because we didn't do it in hollow. So no more a project like this. Thank you.
I was gonna say, dude, that is a lot of work, and what a kind of blessing in disguise that the mold took a shit, right? Like there's no more, and you can just say, hey man, that's it.
It took about a year from the original idea for the physical copies to be in our hands.
Wow.
So a learning process, definitely, and that's one of the reasons that I still love doing this, because I just want to be better.
Yeah.
But this also taught me a lot of things on what not to do next time. How can I save me so much more, just the effort and like time and materials and whatnot. So,
and
jeez.
As much as that part sucks, that's probably like the best part, right? That's the exploration of creating. Is that like, oh fuck, like if only I had known, but also like, well, next time I get to.
And I want to be super open about it. Like, I don't cast much, and when I do, I want it to be like quality. But this was one of those projects when like I was banging my head against the wall, like, why can't I succeed on the first try? That really made me humble a little bit. So,
well, and that's the thing, dude. That's one thing that we don't really talk about on the show very much, man. And it would be a cool thing to talk about, is not only like going through that process over and over again to learn what to do, but then just like you said, dude, to learn not what to do again and again, like major fuck ups where you're like, damn, that I won't do that again, And that's all part of it. Eric Folkert says 11 molds, you gotta love what you're doing. Yeah, dude, that's a project for sure, man.
And while we're on it too, in Finland where you are, if one, can you use smooth on products if you have access, and two, what's the cost of your smooth on products like? And I want to see that gang mold again.
This was actually one of the excuse me, it's still dropping a little bit dry resin. So this was one of the janitor molds. It has pieces of the plunger. It has the original Y peg. And then it's got 2 legs. Yeah. I guess it's 2 legs.
Nice.
That's an economical mold.
About smooth on, actually only recently we have access to a few different smooth on silicones and a few of their resins, but the situation is still the same as it used to be. Just because of our location, we do not have the access for the polyurethanes, the clear ones. Some of the translucents we are getting, but like the 325, 326 series, none of that. And that is just because of our geographic location.
And so what are you making your molds currently out of?
I've been using smooth on.
Okay.
Before that, I used to order most of my silicone from it either came from Germany or it came from Poland. And then I've had this Italian brand that I've been buying from the place where I work, which is a hobby shop, but the prices are what they are, and I'm just way too hesitant. Like if I need silicone, I will buy it if I have the money. I will not wait for too long.
Silicone's a scary one for me, man. Like the cost and room for error is so great. I think that's what's so challenging. Like you said, like you went through so many different molds, you were trying to brainstorm out how to get it to work, and every time that's this huge fucking amount of silicone being poured in there. And then of course you don't know till you cast.
And it's way more expensive. I mean, you can buy a big amount of resin, and you will, it will last a long time. But you buy just the regular like pint serving size of silicone, which is 800 grams plus 800 grams. That's about 2 like normal sized, medium sized mold. That's it, and then it's gone. And that costs about like what 40 euros, I guess.
Wow.
But now when I can get the smooth on products here from not from Helsinki, but it's in Vantaa, which is about 40 kilometers from here. Not that far, but now I can get the big units, the 8-kilo units, which I could have bought from Poland and Germany prior to, but the shipping would have been a nightmare. So at least now I can save a little bit of money when I can obtain it from here by car.
How dare you say 40 kilometers isn't that far?
I was going to say, dude, out of all those measurements, the only one that I understood was gram. I'm down with the gram. I know what that is. But the kilometers and kilos or whatever you have, that's just, it sounds far. That sounds far. Dude, so you mentioned shipping real quick, right? So
yeah.
The shipping is fucked, right, to Finland, and to pick it up. Anybody who has tried to ship Tom stuff knows that it's just like they might as well have a gun to your head, dude. It's like
I'm sorry.
It's like Jesse James fucking post office, right?
I'm sorry, everybody.
No, it's okay, but I'm saying it's the same for you to send stuff out. So besides the shipping and those frustrations, I know those are there. That's like that shit's on repeat. You know what I mean? I think from everybody. But what's the scene like in Finland, dude? I don't know of too many other Finland artists besides the guys that you do collabs with. I know that we sent a stack of future retroistic magazine out there, and I'm sure you got rid of those. But that's kind of like spreading the word, man. I've seen little markets that you set up with tables and stuff like that. But what is the indie toy scene in Finland?
There really still isn't any, or anything that I could call a scene. It's basically, well, it's me. Then I would have to mention Copper Inks, of course. And she's mainly like, painting and sculpting, not making any physical toys yet, besides the ones that, are made with ETC. Then there's Adam Toys, and they're from Singapore, so technically not a Finn. And then there's Eddie Vice Toys, who he comes more from the like toy collecting and kit bashing and that point of like, from that side of the toy scene. So that's it. Then there's people who print stuff out of 3D resin, but it's not necessarily action figure related. It's more into the like tabletop gaming and stuff. And then there's a big Motu scene here, because one of the guys who's writing the comics is a Finn. So he's making a lot of noise about, and keeping the things up in here as well.
Sure.
But the toy scene or the indie toy scene is very, very non-existent.
Yeah, gotcha.
The second Comic-Con was just a few months ago, or maybe a month ago, and after, or like, you know, on the side of that, they had this this event called RetroCon that they had in Tampere, which is another city. And when I saw what the description was for that lineup, I thought to myself, like, you know, that's definitely for me. But when I approached them, they replied that they really like my stuff, but the theme for that event doesn't involve, like, you know, newly made things.
Gotcha.
Besides like t-shirts and maybe pins, but you know, retro to them is old stuff, which is kind of.
I mean, yeah, dude, you could probably make the argument either way and say, hey, I'm using old stuff to make new stuff that's really like old stuff, but it's new stuff. And so you're kind of like in the gray area there. But
Because that's what retro is.
Right.
Retro is not just old stuff. But anyway, you know, who am I to you know, talk to these people?
You're Shotgun Karaoke. That's who you are. You speak up and say something, man. Let these people know.
Yeah, but you know, this is just leaning me to the fact that I have to put up my own shows. And actually, I was talking to ETC when they were here, and I've been struggling with the idea of putting up a show of my own. But then he kind of made me realize one thing, that I don't necessarily have to do it on my own. I could maybe, just maybe, approach people, ask for their pieces, and have a big show with a big lineup that would, you know, have everybody, or not everybody in one show, but a lot of different shows.
Yeah, dude.
And even try to present the idea of what the hell we are even dealing with. Why is this cool? Why is this art?
That's awesome, man. You could even reach out to like an indie toy show that does like a weekly show that like may want to promote that for you. If you know any of those shows, I'm sure they would love to help you out with something like that. But that's cool, man. I mean, you're kind of taking it on your own to start things up out there, dude.
Yeah, we just gotta try to build something.
Yeah, for sure. So before we jump into some tabs and whatnot and just kind of see what's going around the scene, dude, what else have you been up to? You got the janitor going on right now. I know you got other stuff going on. What else you working on out there?
I've been kind of busy. This whole spring, I think I put out like over 30 different figures.
Wow.
Besides the janitor, I had the Wonder and the Hoarders, both wave 1 and 2. That was over 16, no, over 18 figures in total. Then I've been whipping a lot of those Ultraman figures, though. And well, this is a little bit of a work in progress, but I just got these from Scott Barbarian.
Oh shit, bro! I love it.
Like I said, still a little bit work in progress, but
airbrushing.
Yeah.
And was it a mixed parts piece to begin with that you're airbrushing, or have you just been nailing that thing?
I've just been nailing it.
Yeah, give it to it.
There's actually a skull inside that chest, and it's a glow in the dark skull. It was a little bit too tight, so the arms, you know, they are there, but I think I have to come up with a little bit something just to make it more fluent. But it's gonna be dope when it's finished.
Dude, that looks dope right now. That's nice, dude. I like that. But you know what I like, dude, just about Barbarian Rage real quick, dude? They put out that video. You know what I mean? And it was just about now, and that's something where, you know, he's talking about like stirring paint from the bottom. I'm not just shaking it up, and me not knowing shit about shit. I would take that information and be like, fuck, dude, I didn't know that. But Cool little how-to video series he's got going, which I think is I think those are awesome.
Scott is such a gentleman. I gotta give him props every now.
Yeah, dude, straight up, man. He's we were talking about his dude, last week I think we were talking about his double cast resin work when we were talking about modeling miscreations, I think, and I was talking about people that were just really up there in the fucking double cast game. But yeah, dude, that's a beauty right there. I saw a bunch of those at Designer Con, painted by different people. Like Vegetarians had some there, and man, they were looking super fly.
I actually had something like really quick before you wanna get onto the tabbies.
Oh, yeah. Do it, man. Show it off.
So, like everybody knows, Brian over here is a gentleman as well, and he's been, sending stuff over to Finland. We've been going back and forth a lot, and the last box, I know a lot of y'all are in the chat room right now, so I want to address everybody who, you're just so kind, giving me good shit. Can I just go through the box real quick?
Absolutely, bro.
Please, by all means.
It's yours, dude. Please go ahead.
I just realized that with the reflection, I sometimes look like a husky.
We like it. B was actually telling me right before the show he loves husky boys. You're good, dude.
Huskies are great, but I couldn't stand all the howling. Anyway, this one.
Woo!
Eddie Resin Blood. The Hedora. I just freaking love this thing. I actually gave it an extra gloss just because of the bottom. I know he sends stuff a lot, but I just dipped this into a glossy thing and made it extra glossy. So
nice.
Big shout out to him. Then Mr. Von Fake Name. This is a mad piece.
I just love the fact that you've got some Canadian boy over in your Finland home, man. Hell yeah.
Not too many Canadians in here. The most interesting man. And what I love about the backside is this is almost like a stack of LSD. Gorgeous. The material is kind of like, already in bits and pieces. So don't put this under your tongue. Next off, I gotta give a big shout out to people who really take time with their stuff. This one by Ocular Rhombus.
That one's dope, dude. I love that one.
This was so much smaller than I originally thought, but it doesn't matter. It's still a dope ass thingy. The claws, I love them. I love those claws.
Yeah. Super good mashup right there, dude. Ocular Rhombus has been on fire lately, man.
I mean, he's gotta, or they gotta have like the work ethic that they have is just, I admire that. And the same thing with the Plastic Vomit Duo.
Oh, man.
This was so dope. My first Plastic Vomit Customs piece.
They're so killer, man.
Ain't it clean, dude? God dang.
Yo, does that one have the water decal on the chest?
No, this one is clean.
Nice. Sorry.
And then I have to give a huge shout out to Topher Toys. These were called Cortex Clug or Cortex Clug 2.
Gorgeous.
Just nasty and lovely at the same time.
Dude, Topher's paintwork is just stupid.
Yeah. And this bad boy.
Woo-hoo.
The original sculpt is done by Pocket Salsa. And it's called Inmate 32Z1. And they've been knocking these one-offs a few. And I guess this was the first one they did.
Is that resin? How? Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, this one is resin.
Gorgeous pocket salsa, dude.
Yeah.
Pocket salsa, no pressure pot pocket salsa. What the heck, pocket salsa?
Yeah.
Dude, that thing's a weapon, dude. Like that, it's a chunky, solid resin piece. And the collab with him and Topher Toy, man. Topher Toy's paint is, dude. That dude can elevate a piece by just his paint. It's pretty incredible what that dude does.
Big support, Topher always. And then, last but not least,
Damn.
this Ordinary Toys Poison Tech piece.
Motherfucking Eddie. Those back, dude, the hand drawn art is fucking stupid. All the hand done lettering. Oh.
Yeah.
The only problem with the carded figures is that I am running out of space.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's the big problem.
Everybody's sharing the same problem, I guess, but you know, I love
Ceiling.
these to death.
You just gotta start super gluing them to the ceiling.
Or something. But yeah, that was the box that I was waiting for a long time, and when I got it, I was so excited. So once again, thank you, Brian, for making me one hell of a happy guy.
Oh, no problem, man. That's how we do it, man. With the shipping the way it is.
Do it.
If anybody has any stuff they want to send over to Tom, let's do it and all go in on this shit together because it's ridiculous. It's like, what, dude? Like 40, 50 something to send it over, and then you have to pay to pick it up, right?
Yeah. I guess there was some fee, but it's now gone up because of the late policies.
It went up again?
I remember when picking up those two soft vinyl toys from Barbarian Rage, the shipping was 30, and I had to pay 30 euros more for the customs fee.
Jesus, dude.
And that was just for two Sofubis. So
Oh, that's in euros, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I am glad you're hanging out tonight, Tom. Let's get into the tabbies and
yes, I will gladly join you on the rinks.
Let me in, boss.
Oh, Jesus. Out of curiosity, before we hop into any of those two, man, I'm just kind of nosy. What you got over there? What you been working on lately? Anything you want to show off from your side before we
besides that Barbarian Rage joint, only just a few Ultramen with different color variants.
Are you doing airbrushing for all of the Ultramen?
Yeah, at least I'm trying to do most of the paint work with the airbrush, but I do some regular brushing as well. And lately it's just been, getting more paints and just experimenting with them. Like, for example, trying to get this bit of a candy gloss to the owls, and I've been working on a few different ideas, actually the same way as what Von Fake Name has been, just dropping off random toys into the city. And big shout out to him, by the way. I might be doing that as well in Helsinki, so keep your eyes open for random toys in the vicinity.
Yeah, if you're hanging out in Helsinki this weekend, keep your eyes open, huh?
I know also when you were talking about the shows earlier, something that LM9 had done in the past, actually, they ended up calling it like Toronto for a little bit, but it would have been like Lab Monkey number 9, Angry Beast, Toxic Fumes Toys. I'm sure there's a couple of other ones I'm probably missing right now as well. I even feel like Dylan Clement, for some reason, part of my brain is saying that they might have been a part of like one of the first ones as well. But they used to they would all go in together and just see what it would cost to rent out like a small gallery space. And then they would basically then organize the show that way. So that way, instead of one person approaching a gallery and being like, well, shit, how do I come up with $500? What if I don't get my money back? All that other stuff. You find like at least 4 or 5 friends that maybe would be interested in also showing off their art that night or weekend, and then just going in together like Dee was saying, or like you were even kind of talking earlier, and doing it kind of DIY style.
Yeah. I also have a few friends who are in the graffiti world, and I've been, getting a lot of ideas from future retroistic, Kramsky, combining the graffiti and the toy scene too. And that was the reason I actually got those magazines. It wasn't for toy people, it was for graffiti people.
Nice.
That way, I could also introduce them into the things that, I've been babbling for about 4 years already. So
That's dope, man. That's a good crossover and a good way to kind of introduce people is combine it with stuff that they're already into. And that's what I love about that magazine, man. It's like two completely opposite things. And it's not that like, the pieces are in the pictures or anything. They're just together and
yeah,
they look cool together.
and it's a special magazine anyway, because it's already cross-cultural, so to
Yeah.
say. So you're going to be introduced to the idea anyway. So it's not just like, graffiti and toys. How do they mix? But it's already mixed.
It's
So
already mixed for you. Yeah.
so
And
also
it's
could be
great
some
quality too.
magazine that they see.
Yeah. And it's a really good quality, like really thick stock on the pages. It's almost feels like a little bit of an oversized magazine, but it's good, man. It's quality shit right there for sure.
That's what I love about that scene,
Yeah.
the magazines, the print work.
Yeah, for sure. Um, what you want to do, Crumbs? You want to look at something? You want to do some tabs? What you got? What you got, buddy?
Yeah, sure. Shotgun is Shotgun hanging out with us during the tabbies? Want me to boot you
Well,
out here? What's going on? You
He's
let me know.
hanging for the tabbies. He's hanging for the tabbies.
There we go. Cool. I was wasn't sure it's 4 a.m. over there in Finland. I was like, are we keeping you hostage? Does your wife want you to come back to bed? What's the plan of attack here, my dudes? Boom, boom. We got the old jazz whiz. Speaking of coming back on the scene here as well, I know we were kind of chatting about that earlier. Have you guys seen that Rainbow Yawn's going to be doing their bootleg surprise again? Boom. So if anybody hadn't done this or seen this in the past, basically they've got this channel that they also do a little like vending machine online spins for. And essentially they're going to be a bunch of little microcasts typically. And you can pay for how many spins that you want. And then you get to watch the old Uncle Matty do your spins for you. So if anybody been kind of missing out on some of those, Bootleg Surprise is actually going to be rocking back up and open. Resin Toys, posted straight to your door. Spins available now. Shop link in bio. And then also, dude, Neko Satu toy has blown up this last little bit. This is fucking clever, man.
Oh, nice.
Having like those little, I don't want to call them saddles, missile attachments.
Yeah, man, those the battle bellies. That's a good one, man. There's a lot of those out there from quite a few different artists, and I think they all look good, man. Look at the stickers on there. That's great. That's a good idea.
Well done. Yeah.
So did they cast that well, or it's not a Garden State Kaiju one?
It is a Garden State Kaiju to collab with them, actually.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that sculpt.
Yeah, dude, straight up, man. That's a good one. It's I've seen it. I think we've all seen it in a bunch of different styles, and they all look good.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it. I was staring at this the other day trying to figure out. Do you think they just ordered like a bag, like thousands of these tiny little what? Oh shit! Sorry, dude. Wasn't paying attention. Here I am looking at.
Oh, nice.
Did you paint that one?
This original one, I haven't done anything to it.
It has almost like a. I don't know if it's because of your lighting or what, but it almost has like a pearlescent to it right now.
Yeah. The light is kind of off, but anyway, sick piece.
Damn, that's a gorgeous one, man.
Those are cool, man. Those little wind-ups. Oh, plastic vomit.
Okay, sorry. So first off, this popped up in my feed today. How do you not show off this fucking gem? But then the fact that even Shotgun ended up actually having one of their troopers with them, dude, I don't understand how, one, they produce so much work, two, the fucking variety.
Yeah, dude, those stained glass ones are super, super sick, especially when they did the cards with them as well.
I was just gonna say those are absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah, dude, aren't those fucking God, dude, the translucency, and then you can tell they're just glossy as hell, dude. Like, look at the chest of that hammerhead, dude. That shit looks like water. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's sick.
Oh, yeah. Fucking gorgeous, man. And you're like, this clear brown is kind of just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of my fave combos, that blue and that brown.
Brown and blue.
Yeah. And especially, done by them.
Their game is next level, man. Yeah. This was a 6 set they even did, actually. The droid styles.
Yeah. And you know what's funny, dude? So how about that, Tom? Do you guys get a lot of like commercial style shit out there? Like, do you have stores where you can go and buy like stuff that Star Wars has released, recently or anything like that?
You mean toys in general, or just Star Wars related stuff?
Well, Star Wars related stuff. And the only reason I'm asking, man, is because I've seen a lot of stuff come up in the last couple days where there was some set, right? Like a 5-figure set or something from that they released from Star Wars, and people have been doing reviews on it, and they're fucking garbage, dude. Like, the paint's all messed up. They're just trashed. And it's funny, man. I follow some people who complain about those. And then they do videos and they do posts about people complaining about those. And I'm just like, man, these people have no clue. You know what I mean? I think that's what's funny to me, where I look at that and I'm just like, you guys are in the wrong fucking market, man. If you guys are looking for clean, really cool shit, you are barking up the wrong tree, my friend. You know?
Exactly. I think most of the toy collectors still, order their stuff abroad. The market is still so niche and so small, and I mean, like, even a regular type of toy store doesn't necessarily run for more than 2 years before it has to go and shut down.
Yeah That's a bummer, man. I mean, it's I'm sure there's all kinds of reasons for that, but if it's a business that can't sustain itself for any real long length of time outside of a couple of years, that's kind of a bummer, because there is new stuff that comes out. But I know, like, logistically, dude, you guys are in just a really weird spot. And I'm sure, just going back to what you said about the smooth on product and stuff, I can only assume, dude, that's probably across the board for a lot of stuff, where it's just kind of limited, and maybe you get like a few of this and maybe not a whole line. But anyways, man, my point of that whole thing was just like the cleanliness, dude. We were talking about Plastic Vomit Customs, dude, and that's one account that I think probably really sells themselves on variety and cleanliness. But it's just such a drastic difference between what you get on what you get out of the store, and then to see people complain about it, it almost makes you want to sit back and kind of laugh a little bit and be like, yeah, we know, dude. We know all about it. That's why we, usually don't fuck with that stuff, because it's just,
Yeah.
Well, and what's almost jokes is that line, right? And so we've talked about it with the indie scene, that whole like intent, right? And then it's funny how it comes back full circle with some of these commercial toys, where it's kind of like, if I'm expecting it to be pretty fucking good and you try and sell me shit, I'll be bummed. But if I go to a random Quickie Mart and I find some random ass fucking toy that looks like it was a hack job done by a 6-year-old, and the paint job looks like it was also done by a 6-year-old, and the package says something ridiculous like "buy crazy fun," I'm buying that shit. Like that's the weird fine line where you're like,
exactly, dude. Exactly, man. Like,
we better be super shitty or really good.
We see that stuff from some of our homies, and we not only do we accept that, but sometimes we look for that and seek that out to buy it like that. You know what I mean? But there's something different when it comes from a big box store or something like that, and you get something. That's where the jokes start coming in, and you're like, look, man, these things are allegedly made by these great big companies, and they should have some sort of quality control. They obviously don't. I don't know how you do quality control on runs of hundreds of thousands of fucking pieces, but it's shit, man. And I think that if people are going for quality and really clean stuff, You know, like I said, I just don't think that you're going to go and buy that over the counter anywhere. You need to find somebody who's making custom stuff and really taking their time and doing that. And that's what this is all about. Tate Fiend, what's up, dude? God, I love this shit.
Yeah, you want to talk about taking time? Look at these stupid fucking dots earlier, being like, "Get out of here!"
That is just, I love that.
I know, man. Me too, dude. So the other three that I think he had 3 or 4 the other day that he dropped, and they went really fucking fast. I jumped in there and was like, son of a bitch, dude. Those are gone real fast. But I think those ones are dropping tomorrow, the painted versions.
Yeah, like 4 p.m. Eastern. Yeah,
bro, those are crazy.
There's something stupid but lovely about it like that. You know what I mean? He's just prancing at you like some kind of fucking idiot.
Well, and it could really take the face
for 20 seconds.
It could take the place of Bambi's head, right? So you almost have like a gummy fetus type fucking thing going on. You know what I mean? Where you're looking at the skull and the skin. But I mean, dude, you can never go wrong with a Skeletor face, dude. Never ever. You put that shit on anything.
You know, Nick Nightmare nailed it. That paint just took it to a new level. It's like, yeah, 100%, man. Hobo Toys is just a gem, man. Talented individual, super humble, total gem.
That's awesome.
Sorry, man. What else we got sitting in here? Fixed Temple Toys, and they're gonna be chilling out with us. Oh my goodness, we put it on the calendar. What day is that? It's gonna be sitting on. Is it next week? No, the 19th, June 19th. We have Fixed Temple Toys coming in.
Nice, 2 weeks.
They busted this shit out recently. This is that kind of stuff where you're looking at it being, you have to almost wonder if it's AI at first. You're kind of like, what the fuck, man?
Love
what about 3D? Are you into any 3D stuff, 3D sculpting, anything like that, Tom?
Nothing that I've personally done besides some doodling, but I'm planning on
some doodling.
Yeah, nothing, nothing fancy, but I have a friend who's very heavy into that, and I want to get into my own, character design and,
Fair.
So definitely at one point.
If you went into that world, I'm just nosy, I'm curious now. If you went into that world, do you think you would aim more towards kind of like the static Tchotchke-esque dudes like you've done with your owls and frogs, or do you think you'd actually go full action figure like you have in the past as well?
I think I might start with the bulky ones, obviously.
Yes.
Like, just the idea of, sculpting a big, bulky thing is, something that is very close to my heart at the moment. So the action figure thingy, I think it would go directly into it has to be a Sofubi.
Wow.
See, I almost asked you earlier if you would ever if you were thinking of Sofubi, if that was something you're interested in. You just kind of nailed it, man. That's maybe something that you'd get your fingers in if you had a sculpt you wanted to do.
Like I'm trying to approach these things like an engineer, in the sense that, depending on a project, you have different types of articulations and different ways to approach it. But, if I would start sculpting, I would definitely look into the whole world of how this should be done if it were to be a Sofubi.
Yeah, dude, it is it's a whole different thing, man. And I was doing a little bit of research. One of the pieces that I'm going to show tonight is a Wonder Goblin vinyl. And if you start going back through his page, you start seeing kind of some of the issues that come up with vinyl, not only, in the production part of it, but where it's being produced too. And he makes some good comments, dude, about, vinyl makers that are coming to the United States. And those posts go back like 3 years ago, dude. You know what I mean? And I definitely wasn't thinking about vinyl being made in the United States 3 years ago.
So that's, and not to cut you, sorry. So Rugamark, I feel like that's what was so impressive about them when they first kind of stepped into my realm of vision. Was it would have been about 3 years ago. I think they were 17 or 18 at the time. And they had already done some like mech Sofubi, regular Sofubi. You're like, damn, dude. And then by the time we had them on, they were actually pulling their own vinyl in the US. Low Tech Studios pulling their own vinyl. Uh, there's something just so sick about seeing, just like how Shotgun Karaoke said it, and I think it's one of like the pieces that kind of actually unites a lot of the folks in this scene. That engineer mentality, that problem solver mentality, this whole kind of like, well, if you can do it, I'm sure I can figure it out. There's someone else out there who's done it. I must be able to figure it out. And so I think that's what's kind of sick about seeing all these different individuals popping up doing their own garage pulls.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I don't know as far as vinyl, but I know at least with resin, you start seeing that process of them working through problems and, like you said, those engineering type skills, dude. And what's funny is that like you get really good results with a bunch of different ways to do it. You know what I mean? It's like we can talk about guys that have like their specialty is one thing, and maybe they do it completely different than other people, and it works best for them. But yeah, dude, that's what's cool about it, dude. There's like really, you know, I don't know if there's a right answer for everything. I'm sure there is, but you can make it work. I think you can. A lot of people here like make it work. You know.
I think the biggest thing is you better know a welder or be able to weld. That's probably going to be like one of the biggest challenges.
A welder.
Well, because one, like to make the bath, right? You're basically making a big giant deep fryer. And then on top of that, when you actually look at like the cages that they use a lot of the times, like I don't know how to fucking make an electromagnetic mold of anything out of steel plated molds. Like, yeah, like that. And then you have to think like, so making this the sculpt and recognizing like the undercuts and the articulation is one thing, but then actually making a metal cage and being able to dip it in something that's going to be thousands of degrees and not having that leak all over, like,
yeah,
ow.
What about vinyl toys out there in Finland, Tom? Is there any place that you can go where you would find like an excess of vinyl toys, either new or vintage to buy? Nothing, huh?
I would say that in Helsinki, there's this one, I would say one toy store. It's run by a British guy called Headhunter, and it's mainly collectibles. Like you could find soft vinyl toys in that store, but it's not a soft vinyl store.
Gotcha.
It's a place that sells action figures, and you know, like he's painting bigger props, like you know, Star Wars related, and you know, goes through different conventions and stuff like that, you know. But the whole, you know, culture still doesn't exist in Finland.
Yeah.
Like you might have people who own different, let's say like anime related figures that are made from soft vinyl, but they don't think about, you know, them holding a soft vinyl toy. They are holding a toy of, you know, of their liking.
Right.
So it would also have to be introduced, because that's, you know, one of those things that also run into my head if I'm going to be having that show sometime, that physical show, is I would want to have as much print materials as possible, you know, something cheap or free that people could, you know, just grab with them when they leave, but they would leave with a little bit of information. For example, that Toys on Tap, you know, that Sofubi booklet, that, or that scene they did.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
I just want to educate people.
Well, and see, and that's what I think is so cool about it, dude, is that like you're willing to do that. And you're thinking about doing shows and stuff like that, and you're very open about saying like, hey man, that, like, you know, that toy culture, that indie toy culture just doesn't exist out here. You know, whether you can get, even if you get one person, dude, like really burning for it, you know, hopefully they'll pass that on and you'll start to see something kind
of. It's always the same, for interrupting, but it's always the same pattern in Finland. You know, if you want something new to go through or be introduced to people, you know, there's nobody else going to do it besides you. So it's always been groundwork, if it's been music or whatever culture. So I'm just trying to have fun with it.
Yeah. Nice. Yep. Tape Fiend, that is an Ace hat. That's right, buddy. You were showing it's Matt, right? Is that what account that was?
Yeah, as if you end up knowing that.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Big brain energy over there. Yeah, some of these accounts, and we talk about this almost every single week. Some of these accounts, I don't understand the follower size, man. 841, homies busting out pieces like this.
Yeah, and he took a break, dude. And you know, he was going through some stuff personally and was very open about that, about kind of having some motivation again to find stuff. And he said slowly but surely is coming back. And that's, you know, for sure not the first time we've heard that from anybody, but I'm glad to see he's stuck with it, dude. I have a couple of it's matte pieces. And they're great. I love them.
I'm sure, Shotgun, you've probably experienced this. Creating can be really tough at times because you don't want it to be a motivating factor. But when you're making replicas, especially like when you've got 4 or 5 and the response maybe isn't what you were expecting, it can unfortunately kind of get in your head and mess with that creative motivation when the time, energy, money is also at play to get new materials and to make new things. And for a lot of these folks, I always come back to it. If it's not moving or there's no interest, how do you justify that to a family? Whatever that family unit looks like, if you're disappearing into the basement for nights at a time and you're not seeing anything come back that you can kind of validate to your family, that can be very impactful.
I'm so glad my wife is a trained painter. As in, she will know the pain. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And one thing that gets me most is like, how can I up my quality? Like really, it's whether it's painting, whether it's the casting process, whether it's the materials, whether it's the you name it. I just want to be like, better at it, and holding pieces like that pocket salsa and tofu toy piece, for example.
Yeah.
Just I just I don't envy anybody, but it just makes me so mad because I just want to be as good as them. Big shout out Topher, a big shout out Robert.
Dude, okay, that's what's also so funny about creating anything in general, right? This like weird, oh my god, that's so fucking gorgeous. Fuck you for being so good. There was even DNS sent me something recently, and this guy was talking about one of the painters who used to work like for books and stuff, and how essentially like, oh, for car magazines, that's what it was. And homie was saying that like all the painters would essentially have this guy's work in their rooms. And as he's talking, he's like, yeah, we would all have it pinned up in our rooms, kind of remind ourselves that like we would never be able to paint like that. And you're kind of like, shit, yeah, like that is kind of it sometimes. Like there's this lovely line where you acknowledge like, holy shit, that's gorgeous, and I can respect and admire how talented that person is.
Yep.
But fuck you.
There always have to be a little healthy competition, but as long as it's not it's not mean.
It's love. Yeah, it's love.
Yeah.
It's almost love in its purest form. It's saying, hey man, I wish, and there's a part of me that wishes so much that I kind of hate you for how good you are.
And then you have some people like Healy made, who have taken their stuff to a level for a reason. They've been working for so long, and I'm always trying to remember that in a way that I ain't got to rush. I don't have personal goals, like in terms of selling or stuff like that. I just want to be better.
Yeah.
But they have set the post somewhere.
Yo, fucking Barbarian Rage actually ended up sniping this one out as well when we were talking about people in America doing their own vinyl work, and they pointed out this deep fried vinyl. Of course, we had to take a little sneak peek over here. We would have seen some of their work, obviously, during the RGGFT show that Cash Brand threw, but I had no idea that they were over here doing a bunch of their own polls. See, this is that welding part where I'm like, yeah, the fuck, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
I don't know how to say it. I'll never know how to say it without sounding like a stoner, but it's just always so fucking sick to me that like these just exist now.
Yeah, I love those, dude. I love that Skeletor colorway right there, and even the primary colors that were up a little bit higher. Those are also great. Richie Maniac Safubi, dude. Is anybody? I hope everybody follows that dude. I just saw a couple of comments from him, but Richie Maniac Safubi, that dude's Safubi collection is fucking bonkers, dude.
Crazy account.
Yeah, straight up.
I was off reading the comments. You're gonna have to tell me that again in a moment. But we keep talking about Topher Toys. Yo, they were showing this off the other fucking day, and I was getting all giddy, man. There's been a couple of techniques and stuff. Them and Kachina. There's been a couple of different techniques and materials they use that, unfortunately, you don't mean to copycat, but you're sitting there being like, I want to try those now.
Dude, look at that. So that paint that he's using is for fingernails.
Yeah, the metallic flake mica in the paint is affected by different magnets and then locked into place with UV light. So he's literally using that little magnet at the front of this, at the start of this video, to kind of control where it's all shifting, and then UVing it in place. And then we get to see a little mirage of the different effects they got from it.
Sharing a little trade secret there.
Man,
what a
nice,
dude.
I mean, but that's what it is. Most of the, or like a lot of the techniques are, you know, taken from the nail industry as well.
Which
very nice.
The micas and the UVs.
Makes total sense, man. Like, because it's always this innovation, right? Like, look for who somebody else is doing it. We actually got a message about this. I don't know if anybody else ended up getting a DM from Frank and He's. They're currently in a competition. So, like, as you see, round one, if you go over to Kick, Punch, Bite, they've actually got in their stories, you click on the individual that you want to vote for. They've got them all kind of paired in sets of twos. So Frank and He's is actually on there as well. And I don't know about you, man. I don't think this is one of those ones where when I slid over there today, I was kind of like, damn, this wasn't on my radar.
Yeah, that's dope, dude. I like that. That's a very cool looking figure, man. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That little head-to-head thing that they have going on, and then it's in their stories, and you just pick. You know, I'm not sure how they're doing that at the end, but that's cool, dude. I like that.
Well, even this double cast, it's wild to me sometimes when we see these people who are just kind of making a way. It doesn't seem like they're like, I mean, this isn't the nicest way possible, but 562. It's not like they're sitting here with like 5,620 individuals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't see a whole lot of people doing a double cast with a full skeleton that fits inside of their cast.
No.
It's like,
yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Very cool.
And this is where, and we've talked about this again. This is another thing we've talked about a bajillion times in this show. That whole 3D printing has come such a far way, because like I feel as though this is that kind of stuff where you couldn't get this cleanliness 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Cool looking one. Toy Chef said Frank and He's just barely lost his bracket by 10 votes. So yeah, there was a lot of people voting. That must have been close too, man, because I think when I voted, it was within like, it was really, really close. Anyways.
Look at Toy Chef though, homie. Like just in like right in on it, already like pegged it. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. Lab Monkey number 9 is going to be there. Dog Horror, Toyzday, Glad Ghoul Toys, Gray Skull Toys, Von Fake, and Toys Tapes and Trash. I'm kind of curious to see what is going to be going on at the top floor as well. Paintings, illustrations, sculptures inspired by toys. And it's like, because we've often talked about that, the whole idea of it's like toys aren't technically the medium in what we do, because medium would mean that you're actually making art using toys as the medium. This seems kind of like it's going to be toys as the medium.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be a physical print of that show, like I guess they've had before.
Like Angry Beast did with like the OA and Lab Monkey 9, like they did with the wrestling show.
Yeah, it was only given to the participants, but just out of curiosity, every time when I hear that there's print material out, I get overly excited.
If there are, I will make sure that I grab you one, and that way I'll store it, set it aside. We'll figure out a time and way of getting you a copy, homie.
Actually, if you have a chance, just talk to Lab Monkey and tell them that I'm a big fan and all the print material belongs to us.
Dude, I love that bootleg RoboCop right there, that mixed parts RoboCop. That's cool. But just actually like a poster or a nice print of that case when it's finished. Dude, look at that shit. That's that's eye candy for sure, man. You know what I mean? I love that.
Those colors.
What's kind of crazy is I knew that this RoboCop must be pretty big because admittedly this head is going to be the one that they use on the 10.5-inch fucking bootleg version anyways. But knowing that these are his feet in the picture really puts in perspective how fucking big this shadow box is.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it, and it's so stupid, like just the way the brain works. Like a bunch of these are like 3.5 inches, 3.75. It's like the sizes, but yet until you see some kind of like comparative,
Yeah.
you don't realize that this is probably like a freaking tray.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
Damn, man. And of course, assembly required. Going to be happening August 9th to August 10th. And then, of course, as we were talking, there's probably going to be a little bit of a hype up, an online show. And then we're going to be doing some talks and coverage of that as well. Silent but Deadly coming up in September 18th. You think you're going to be signing up for this one there, Shotgun?
Sorry?
Do you think you'll sign up for the Silent but Deadly show? Put you around
I am not quite sure. I don't have any shows booked at the moment, so I'm technically open, but time will tell.
Fair. Yes, absolutely. Of course. And then, of course, Curious Customs actually ended up hitting us up. They've got a new YouTube channel, so anybody who's actually curious about that, I wonder. Boom. Should be able to click the link there. Head over to their YouTube channel, subscribe, give it a little like, check out their first video they ended up uploading earlier today. We got 5.5 Tape Fiend, all ninjas. It's technically a ninja themed art show, but the concept is actually, or the theme is actually Silent but Deadly. So I feel like you can kind of go anywhere, but I think that's kind of the general idea, is going ninjas, karate.
Yeah.
That kind of fun.
Silent, anything silent but deadly.
Well, and that's kind of it. Let's be real, folks. There better be a lot of fart puns. If we don't basically spend the night seeing a bunch of various farts of some kind, and what are we doing here? Yeah. Exactly. Tape Fiend in the stands.
There you go.
But if it's going to be anything like this Art10 show, there's going to be some variety, serious variety.
Yeah. That's Art10 show, dude. Yeah.
What a brilliant idea, homie.
And thanks Gray School Toys for pointing out my love for G.I. Joes earlier. That was nice. Yeah, sometimes I forget my own love for G.I. Joes, and I just forget about them entirely until someone brings up my love for them.
Yeah, for granted, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Were you big on Joes over there? Were Joes big in Finland?
We only had Action Force.
You only had what? I'm sorry. Oh, the Action Force ones.
Oh, Action Force. Yeah.
G.I. Joe. I think we had the cartoon for maybe 1 or 2 years before it went away.
This is probably going to sound like a culturally inappropriate question these days, but do you find, being where you are, and maybe it's just time the times know, that you have more access and or see more bootlegs than those of us more in the Western? Or is that like we're kind of way past that these days? Like everybody kind of has access to the same shit.
I think we had kind of like 50-50. The same way you can find those bootleg toys maybe at a gas station or something. You've been mentioning the gas station toys every now and then, but the whole problem itself is that Finland is such a niche country. Less than 6 million people. So you can imagine that just the amount of toys isn't too much, and the amount of bootleg toys isn't even too much. But I remember seeing some, weird looking He-Man figure, or a Transformer that's technically not a Transformer, even though it's a robot that transforms, but stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was very, how would you say, brand wise. I knew what
Yeah.
I was getting, or what I was given.
Yeah.
I think the gas station so often with the bootlegs is because everybody was still escaping the same like copyright laws, same as actually One Trick a lot of the times, because they live in a city that a lot of like the people living there would have worked at the Kenner factory at one point. There's like a whole world of bootlegs that they don't see, and it's kind of fair because it's kind of like if you were to approach anybody and be like, hey, I want to sell you this stock of bootleg, you get chased out of town. Like that's that factory that makes the real ones are literally like employing the people who live there. Whereas like where I live, I might go visit like my grandmother back in the day in Temagami. Well, Temagami is some little bumfuck town on the side of a highway with a population of maybe like 100, 200 people. So the dude passing through there might stop at the gas station to fill up. He's a trucker or whatever, and he's like, hey, you got any kids around here? Any interest in buying this box of all these cool toys I have on me? Store owner's like, hell yeah, man, I don't have any toys anyways. He buys them up. Suddenly you've got this freaking Superman that's actually Ultraman combined with a Digimon, and he's just like, cool, kids seem to love it here. And like you talk to other people and they're like, not a fucking clue what the hell you're talking about. Like, never seen that toy in my life. Like, look online, you find out it's some weird knockoff from Turkey, and you're like, all right.
I do remember that, we had those like regular supermarket toys, or like, places where you could buy toys that were very, very legit. But then you would have a few of these, like, older toy shops run by, people might have been in their 60s or even in their 70s back then already, some very, very old. So they would have anything inside. So it was also kind of like treasure hunt, but you didn't have too much money anyway, so you usually end up with something that was more legit.
I always thought those stores were funny too because there's going to be two varieties, right? Either you're going to find a piece that's like this random thing from a board game that was made 50 years ago, just one token from a board game, and they're going to be selling it for like 35 cents. And then on the other thing in the other corner will be like a Chucky doll still in the package, $500. And you're like, what the how do you anyways?
Yeah.
Hey B, we're done with the tabbies. We're always going to end on the giveaway, but you've got a pile of gold over there. Let's see what you're cooking up over there. What you got?
Yeah. I got a few fangs. Dude, speaking of Wonder Goblin, man, let's just start off with this Wonder Goblin Papa Squatch right here.
I'm always blown away by the size, man.
Dude, in the wildflower colorway. This is my first Papa Squatch. There's a bunch of them out there, but if you look at some of the painted ones, dude, the sculpting that he's done on this, incredible, dude. The
really brings out
the detail on it is just insanely good. They really pop out on the painted pieces. But the more you look at this one, man, you can see there's a nice little nest of animals and flowers.
Do those motherfucking eyes just blink? Are they fucking doll eyes?
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck dicks.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
The only place where those aren't creepy.
Yeah, right. But dude, it is a fantastic looking piece. It also came with these other little there's other little pieces. Dude, like look at the bag that this came in. This thing's monstrous. It came with some stickers. There's other little pieces you can swap in and out. Little tree pieces. They're great, man. Super cool. The other one that I got in that same colorway is the Abba Zaba. That one is great. That is my first Abba Zaba as well in that same colorway. Yeah, that's a super cool one, man. And it is articulated in the arms there, but just a super cool looking piece.
I actually really like the 35-degree angle articulation on the arms.
Yeah, yeah, right, man. There are they're kind of like leaning forward that way, but it's cool, man. Abba Zaba, and that's what I call my daughter. And so that one will have a forever home.
Oh,
right on the shelfie, buddy.
that's cute as fuck.
Yeah, and the Papa Squatch, like I said, man, Wonder Goblin, just super cool, man. You know, and this was all hand sculpted by Wonder Goblin. He did all this work, and if you go back in his account, they go to gosh, dude, I think he first started talking about this back in 2021. Kind of messing around with the sculpts and stuff, and then you see it kind of come to life, and then you can kind of follow along and see all the different colorways and painted versions that have come out. And all of them are great, man. They're still going. One of those
Consider,
yeah.
In that time too, they developed an entire Safubi paint line as well, and they developed an entire play set of like 4 or 5 different Safubi dinosaurs with miniatures. So it's kind of like that are also produced in Safubi now. So it's like,
and the bats.
Yeah. Oh, dude, those are great. Those are freaking great, man.
that top hat is actually secretly just to hide how big and bulbous their brain actually is. It actually just fills up into that top hat. It's just all brain. You just can't tell because they're always wearing it.
I freaking love Wonder Goblin.
Straight up, man. And you know what? It's more than the pieces, dude, right? It's like him as a person, the whole thing. It's the top hat, everything that you just said, dude. It's just the whole thing.
I mean it in the nicest way.
Yeah, sorry. We were just talking about things that we can't get to Finland, and Vinyl Wonder, one of those things.
The paint, yeah. I was gonna say we didn't even talk about the paint, dude. And I think it's pretty much, you know, universally known at this point, at least amongst us. Like, you know, you see some really dope paint. You ask, I'd say 9 times out of 10, maybe even 9.5 out of 10, they're using Vinyl Wonder paint.
Unless I would throw in a order big enough.
But yeah, there you go.
Big order.
Yeah. So that's what I got from Wonder Goblin. We'll stick with the vinyl and hit up this Kachina and Strafe 7 Sunny collab. This thing has some really cool UV on it that it never shows up on the show, but this is awesome, man. We had Kachina on recently, and he's been dropping stuff left and right. I know that he does a lot of custom painted stuff from Elixir, and those pieces always look super great. But this is cool, man. This one, I don't know. I might leave this in the bag, dude. I love that header right there. Star Brothers. I love that. Strafe is always doing up his pieces and other artist pieces in some really, really cool paint. And he nailed it on this one too. So super cool.
I really liked learning more about that Sunny piece, actually.
Yeah, dude. When we had him on, we probably should ask him some of the origins of it, but I think he got into it a little bit. But
it did a bit.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason that I bought this, also because it's with Strafe, and I love Strafe. And Kachina, man. I don't have a lot of Kachina pieces, but this is a dope one. Sunny from Kachina and Strafe 7. Next on the list, I got 2 left. I got Trash Joy and Hurt Toys. So we'll go with Trash Joy. Trash Joy just had this last drop that he had, and I snagged up a few things from there. One of them being this Desert God. And
what a fun piece, man.
Yeah, dude. You know the UV action on that is just wild, which it is. But for a Trash Joy Studios piece, you know that like the majority of the pieces are minis, and so this one to have this at the scale it is kind of unique in its own.
I was gonna say it's almost like once a year we get an action figure from them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all. Oh fuck! Hey, do you have one of the ones with the octopus tentacles for a head? It's like an old Trash Joy male one that he had done.
Is that the one where it's got the Dr. Octopus head with the tentacles on the bottom?
No, it's suit jacket, tentacle forehead, little
Oh, I
tentacle.
do have
Yeah.
that. I do have one of those, and it came in a set with the female in like a dress, and they're like matching, dude. I got to do a picture of those two together. They're fantastic.
Fuck, I don't think I've seen the female version of that.
Yeah, it's cool. So Desert God there. We got some other little ones from Trash Joy. I can't remember the name of that one. That chicken dragon, whatever that is. That is super cool. That's one I did not have. This one I thought was really cool, man. Just like an old school dinosaur toy, with some primary colors in there.
Nice.
This
The
one is,
that tropical primary is so good.
yeah, really good, man. Nim Studios, what's up, dude? Nim's got some new stuff going on that I'm sure he'll be sharing with people before too long, man. He gave me some sneak peeks the other day. Very cool. Trash Joy Studios on this one. And the last one, dude, check out this baddie, dude. Now, I already have one of these, and I think you have one of these too, Crumbs. This one I might leave in the bag, though, just because it's so damn cool, is the Twin Vader. But this one, check out that cape, dude. It's straight up spray painted bubble wrap. Is what that is. But bootleg of a bootleg of a bootleg.
Bam.
The Twin Vader.
So that's what I was gonna say. Like, that's one of those prime examples, right? Where it's like this dude was given, I believe it was Epoxy Crusader sent them that. It's an authentic Mexican bootleg of the two-headed Vader that they then bootlegged.
Yeah.
Where like, what a fucking stupid, ugly toy, but it's so stupid and ugly you need it.
Dude, yeah, and his cape work, especially on these Vaders, man, is always with recycled material. Anything from bubble wrap to chip bags. But he's used some really, really cool shit.
I like their mind. I know that sounds so maybe like lame or stonerish, but Trash Toy Studios has a very contemporary art kind of mind without being pretentious and like snobby about or like weird about it. None of this like weird like all garbage is art. Anyways,
yeah.
That definitely had a meta level to it.
Yeah, for sure. This next one, man, I think I posted some of these for sure. But this is a kind of an ongoing thing that Hurt Toys is doing, dude. Speaking of we were talking about the Scout Trooper earlier. Check out that one, dude, with the pink and black, and the pink is UV. It looks fucking fantastic. The cool thing that I like about these, dude, is, number one, it's my favorite character, so I always love a Scout Trooper.
I was going to ask, okay, what the fuck is with your favorite character of all, even over Skeletor?
No. Hell no.
Okay.
No. Star Wars character, I should say. I'll back up.
And why?
I don't know, dude. You know what it is? Here's what I think it is, dude. It's the helmet for me, for sure. And the reason that I like the helmet is because when I was younger, dude, I was so into fucking BMX. And I think the helmet reminded me of a BMX helmet. And the movie Rad. And, I lived in Half Moon Bay, and we would go and we would, ride our bikes. We go right down the street from my house, and you have the ocean over here, and my house is here. And then there's bike trails kind of separating between. There's like a horse trail and then a bike trails, and we would build jumps. And that's what we did, dude. Like our whole life was just riding BMX bikes and falling on our face just over and over again. But it's that, dude. It's the helmet, and it's also the gun. He's got a unique gun that goes with him that nobody else has. And I like both of them. That's the marble version. Here's another like green and yellow marble version.
So
that
you mentioned the BMX helmet for me, and I'm sure a bunch of the dudes in the chat have played this game. That fucking game where you're a BMX rider and you've got to try and perfectly use the keyboard to make him go over all these little peaks and valleys, but of course the wheels will stretch and stuff, and you can't let him bail out. That's what it reminds me of, is of that weird little crash test dummy knob.
This one's like some hard ass UV2 on this one, on this red and blue. But the thing that I like about these, dude, is it's super basic, man. It's a 100% non-articulated, just static figure. He sells them cheap. They're great, dude. They look great. For me, it's the display. I'm gonna end up doing like one of these cases that you see back over to my left or to my right. I'm going to do one with all Scout Troopers in them.
Nice.
And it's going to look fucking fresh as hell. Bam.
Imagine telling yourself 5 years ago that one of your favorites right now is a completely static full booty.
I know, right? And then that's just kind of like I think that's a glow. I think that one glows. Yeah, this one does glow. I did do a picture of that one, but I may repost it because I kind of buried it in there. But Hurt Toys 3.75, he's got some projects going on, dude. He's got some really, really cool shit coming out that we just talked about before earlier today. That's going to be, I think everybody's going to really fucking dig those. But those are available, man. Those are available, made to order. Cheap, dude. They're like fucking 20 bones. Yeah, Dave Mira BMX, dude. Nice.
Good Shotgun, you ever BMX over there? Is biking big is BMX biking big over in Finland?
I guess BMX was big, when it was big everywhere, like late 80s, early 90s, and then I think like roller skates were trying to come in, and skateboarding, it came and went, and then it reappeared when it finally gained more back in like 97, 98 and onwards. After that, skateboarding became more and more popular. Before that, it was more for the real heads, and then of course you had the 80s wave with the huge ass boards and stuff.
Yeah,
cool skating.
That's funny, man. How skateboarding kind of came and went out here, especially in California, man. Skateboarding. I mean, they have those movies as Lords of Dogtown. That goes back to, I think, like the 70s. And ever since then, dude, it's just been like a constant thing. But something over here, at least in California, that's never went away. Yeah, Bliss Receptor, dude. I know that he still rides a bike, man. I still have a couple of my old BMXs here at the house that we kind of get into every now and then. But they're dope, man. They're fun. They're fun bikes. They're cool to try to remake. They just like the colors. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like the pink seat and the white wheels. Like I was all about that shit. I love that stuff, man. That was so cool.
Yeah, Finland just been so stupid because I think we get most like a 3-month worth of summer, so whether it be skateboarding, whether it be BMX, the weather's not too nice.
True, man. Yeah, weather definitely has something to do with it for sure. Yeah. Breezy Brickyard says they have the autographed DVD of half the cast of Rad. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, just because we were showing off those Hurt Toy ones, and I was kind of slowly closing through the tabs here. But if anybody hasn't seen these little gems, Shotgun Karaoke actually has a couple of these. I'm sure you've got a couple of these still left. So
maybe you can see them.
Oh, nice.
Bam. So if anybody's actually, and maybe take a little gander on their page if you haven't already this week, take a little peek on their page. I'm sure if somebody saw something, right? If somebody does see something on your page and hits you a DM about it, though, like generally speaking, if you've got a couple, it's not like a bother. Is it a bother for you to shoot them like a DM or shoot them a picture of what you have? Or
always a pleasure doing business.
There you go. What a great answer.
Depending on where you live, I will always cut the price down and try to make it as comfortable for everybody as possible. So
nice.
There you go.
That's good, man. That's the customer service part of it is that's a part of it too, man. Whether we like it or not, I think just as coming from a buyer, customer service, that shit matters, man. Everybody likes to
calm the prices down. I mean, the tariffs go up, Shotgun Karaoke prices go down.
Oh, look at this guy. Yeah. Well, hey, man, you're making it work. We're going to do your giveaway second. We're going to do that as like the grand prize. The first one that we got, though, speaking of Future Retroistic magazine, dude, I picked that magazine for this show because I knew that we were going to talk about it going into Finland and whatnot. So this is issue 6 Future Retroistic magazine. You're gonna find all kinds of good artists in there. Resin Blood being one of them. This one
Beefy.
does this one does come with a pack of stickers and all sorts of inserts. There's some cool postcards in there.
No.
Yeah, super cool. That is part of it, and then the other part is from Yuckamuck, stuff that he brought last week. This Dune Walks figure.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice carded, bagged. I mean, and it's a thick stock on that card too. But the upside down, dude, that's great. That is a super clean header. Nice work there from Yuckamuck. And then a couple stickers that I wanted to point out, man. He's got they do come with these stickers, Yuckamuck stickers. And that's another one. So the ET mashup that he did. And then this sticker right here. This is a dope sticker, man. This is from Phantom Lake. That's a Phantom Lake sticker, actually. Bam. Yuckamuck and Phantom Lake.
Hell yeah.
There you go. So that is the first pack. The Dune Walk, the stickers, and the Future Retroistic magazine. If you're looking for any more of the Future Retroistic magazine, you will find the original Cash brand online. Check them out. I don't know how many of those issues they have, or if there's back issues available, but I believe they're about $20 for the magazine, worth every penny. There's been some really good artists in there, and it's all people that are super local to us. Like there was, I think Eddie was in this one. I know Titty Bean has been in some. There's been a lot of people that have been in multiple magazines there, but. There's that, and then they also have the graffiti aspect to the magazine there too, which is a nice kind of feels like a natural mashup there. Sarah Boo's in the house. What's up? But yeah. So, anyways, this is the janitor piece now, dude. Let's take a look at that. Oh, actually, no, we hadn't even spun for that one yet. Crumbs, maybe we'll spin for this first one. I'm tripping.
No, that worked perfectly. We were on it. I believe I caught everybody from the giveaway. I did a quick little scan there a moment ago. From my knowledge, we ended up with 31, Jazz being the last. So if anybody's sitting there thinking, no, fuck you, Crumbs, I actually did enter, please try and catch it, and I'll try and catch you. But at the moment, I have 31.
Lots of good mashups. Tom, what do you think, dude? What would be your ideal mashup, man? I don't know if you answered the question there or not, but if you could do two figures, and I think it's hard kind of asking an artist like this because there's a good chance that you might have already done it. But what's a good mashup that you're looking at?
Yeah, I didn't comment on it, but I was totally pondering on it, and I would probably want to do something with Godzilla. And maybe this character from the Finnish Moomin series, but I wouldn't be making it in real life because they are super picky on their stuff. So nothing commercial, but that was it.
So what is that again? That thing is fucking cool.
The character is called Mörkö. I can't remember what's it called in English, but it's technically Tove Jansson's, the person who created the whole series. It's her self-portrait in a way.
You are just saying more words that make zero sense to me. Movements. Okay, thank you, Toyzday.
Mörkö is kind of like a boogeyman, but
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. Right on.
Boogeyman.
Some good answers in there too, man. Thank you everybody who put an answer in there this week. That was a good one. God, dude, I guess if you're looking for some mashups, there's some in there that were super cool. I'd love to see some of those come to life that were in there. Movements.
Live chat always knows, man.
Movements are booming.
Oh, Jesus.
So for the Future Retroistic magazine, he also said in the comments that Shotgun Karaoke is in issue 5, and they still have some of those issues available as well. Like I said, they're $20, worth every shiny penny.
Yo, Kramsky. I think I'm in issue 6.
Is it the same one with Eddie?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And by issue 5 too.
He's the author, all right, but if I'm not mistaken, it's issue 6, my friend. But anyway,
5, 6. He was close.
numbers.
Here we go, man. 1 through 31. Let's see who's gonna take home this first little prize pack here. Number 16.
And who's 16 here? Let's double check. That's going to be going over to Eric Folkert's projects.
Hey, now Eric Folkert,
Pedal man.
He's on vacation right now. Was saying that his reception was going out a little bit, but yeah, good win, man. That's a good one. What was his mashup there, Crumbs?
Oh shoot, put me on the spot here. Let's.
I got it right here. First off, he says, first off, great question. I know, dude. I'm sorry. I just landed right on it. Really worked my brain and changed my mind several times. I landed on FOMO, F-A-U-M-O, the eye hand creature from Pan's Labyrinth, and Goro from Mortal Kombat. Damn. Yeah, see, dude, there's some wild shit out there, bro. That's one of them.
I pictured LM9.
What's that?
Right away, I pictured LM.
Far beyond.
LM9 has that piece with all the little eyeballs all over it. And then he's also done that sick-ass Goro piece you have. So if that did like a mashup in some way, it would look pretty filth.
You know what's cool, dude, about that Goro piece that I have is you could actually do a mashup with that with other magnetic articulated pieces. And Tom, maybe even some of your magnetic articulated pieces would fit on there, dude. I've done pictures of that where you just start throwing stuff together, and it's cool.
I would love to see that.
Boogeyman or Orc, says Vice Custom Toys. Nice. All right. Cool. Next on the list, we have the janitor piece that we were talking about earlier. This is the piece that was a collab from Shotgun Karaoke and Vice Toy Customs 88. Make sure that you follow Vice Toy Customs 88 on Instagram too. They're another artist out there doing work on their own and doing collabs with Shotgun Karaoke. And this one's fucking fantastic. We talked about this earlier about the articulation. 11 separate pieces on this that were casted.
It's in your good old brain.
A little bit of a lore behind it too, but it could have been. It could have been a novel.
The whole package altogether is absolutely gorgeous, man.
Yeah, very clean, dude. You know, Feigned uses these sometimes. I think Kajiki uses these sometimes. But they're great, dude. They're thick blisters.
The blister form wasn't ideal. You know, it has that extra space on top, but you know, otherwise than that, it's a solid package, even in my opinion too.
Yeah, exactly, man. So they make that for kind of more universal figures, I guess, if there's a weapon or something, or you know. But it looks good, dude. It looks really clean. It's durable. Like I said, this one I would probably display this one just like this. I'd probably hang it just like this, or you can just set it down flat and it would stand like that.
Oh yeah, you know, you gotta pop that guy, play with him a little bit. That thing is a fucking chonker, man.
Okay. That was so much material for Jazz. It's not even fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
that whole sentence right there was just like
just feeding him. Pause.
Yeah, dude, Jazz can't type fast enough right now. His brain can't compute what's going on. Yeah, Kyle Kerwin, the head from Toxic Crusaders. Yeah, for sure, man.
LeChonk.
I'm winning this week.
Boom, boom. All right.
Dude.
I'm gonna pull up the old wheel. Boom.
Now, do you have any janitors left, Tom, if someone does not win and they'd like to grab one?
I got two. I have one clear one, and I have a magenta glow-in-the-dark one, which is, well, it's fluorescent, so UV reactive. But anyway.
Yeah. Fletch, or not Fletch, but Jazz. In case you did miss it. I believe the quote was something like, "You want to take that little guy out and play with him. He is a chonker." I believe it was something to that effect. So there you go.
I lied. I have 3.
Oh, nice. That's a cool one.
One comes with a stand.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Yo, cool.
Because it doesn't stand good.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah. 3 more janitors.
Sweet. All right. Janitor up for grabs. If you do not win that and you'd like one, hit up Tom and snag one up.
Hit me on the low.
Number 12.
Recycle Galaxy.
Recycle the Galaxy.
Congrats.
Kentucky, the great state of Kentucky. And what was their mashup there, Crumb?
I have the post uploaded. Oh, all right. Let's scroll through here. Dig in the goodies and see where it is. All right. I don't know how you got there so much faster than me last time.
It just happened to be one that was at the top when I scrolled down.
So Recycle Galaxy said Vampire Hunter in Motu style.
Vampire Hunter in Motu style. Yeah, dude. You know what, man? I think we talk about that quite a bit. You know, the 5.5 Motu style.
Converting, yeah.
Yeah, and how, I think a lot of figures, I think, Super 7, kind of on my shit list right now, is those ones that came out with Misfits. The Misfits 5.5s are super sick, dude. I like those. Vampire Hunter D, yeah, correct.
I think one of my favorites personally was Folklorians with William Shatner wearing an Austin Powers Halloween costume, Michael Myers, but Austin is dressed as Michael Myers from Halloween, who is wearing a Captain Kirk mask over his regular white mask. It involves a lot of mask and reveals, probably a job for Tone Twisted Tiger. I think I just kind of loved all like the geekdom and nerddom kind of shuffled and played in there to build up for such a stupid fucking character.
Kyle Kerwin, good point, man. Just add "or" to the end, and then it's a Motu style. Yeah, for the name. Yeah,
fair, man.
Tom, you got anything else for us, dude? Before we sign off here, man, it was a blast having you on, dude, and just kind of taking a look at the scene and getting your take on some of the fresh new stuff that's out there.
I was really trying to think of something to say, but I guess we're almost done. It's been totally a pleasure hanging out with you guys, and I wasn't as tired as I thought I was. I actually got more inspired, like when we started. I was very, very close of dozing off at one point, but it's the 4 a.m. gang.
Yeah, I know that's brutal, dude.
Yeah, I have something in mind, but what I probably wanted to tell everybody was that besides all the cool free shit that I got from you, you guys inspire me. I'm so glad to be here, and I just want to make cool stuff for you. So if you have a feel, come and check on my Instagram and just shoot me a DM and let's work something out. I'll give you a discount.
There you go. Toys Alive discount. You got a request there from Super Terrible, dude. You gonna take him up on that or what?
Hold on. Ever since Crumbs mentioned it, I was hesitant to wrap this away.
There it is, dude.
Of course.
And yeah, Super Terrible. You actually have some DMs to catch up, but it is not a tumor.
That was pretty good, man. Nailed it.
I really love Kindergarten Cop, to be honest.
Not funny, dude.
Tom, I really love Terminator. I really love Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
But isn't it's not a tumor from that bit, right?
Exactly, dude. Tom, thanks for being on, dude. Always a pleasure, man. Anything we can do anytime anytime you want to come back, dude, please just let us know.
Hey,
There is,
likewise.
yeah, if there's anything that you saw that you want from Shotgun Karaoke, definitely get over to his website and his IG, and get into the store and take a look at what he's got. There's some janitors left in there if you're looking for one of those. Thank you, dude. Very much appreciated, man.
Enough respect, always.
Shotgun.
I'm not getting cut off.